Calum Smith calls out Canelo Alvarez after his victory over Sergey Kovalev. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Shout out to Sky Sports, link in the description. Let's jump into it. Champion at super middleweight Calum Smith warns Saul Canelo Alvarez that he is the world's #1 at super middleweight. That's what he believes. And let's get into his quotes. Link in the description as well. It says, Liverpool Smith has been linked with a super fight against Alvarez in the past and believes he should be a natural opponent if Canelo is to return to super middleweight following a WBA title win over Rocky Fielding, right? Quote, I think Canelo will come down. Whether he goes back to 160 or 168, I have no idea, Smith told Sky Sports. I've seen in the interview saying he's considered cruiserweight. I don't know, but if he comes back to 168, I believe I am the #1 in the division, so he'll have to come and beat me to take that place. But I'm not going to waste my career waiting for a fight that might never happen. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, there's still plenty of other big fights. Smith is fighting John Ryder, as you guys can see. Now, as I've told you, new media, the walls are closing in. You know, Canelo has been criticized by Mexican legend like Erik Morales, who, you know, let me pull it up so you guys, you know, can see, right? Erik Morales, Canelo fights big names when they are deteriorated, right? Boxing News 24. We'll show you this link. Erik Morales blasts Canelo for fighting old shot fighters. You know, Kovalev, you can say what you want, but with the quick turnaround, age 36, like I told you before, I think the Kovalev fight was an advanced cherry pick. We've seen a Kovalev in there that fought nothing like he did in any of his big fights. And you see them all jovial and shaking each other's hands and, you know, this camaraderie after each round, patting gloves and stuff. And, you know, Kovalev, he looked like a shell of his former self for whatever reason versus Canelo, right? And that's why you have people like myself, Erik Morales, new media, saying Canelo fighting older people. You know, you can go do the math. Shane Mosley was 40. Carlos Baldomir was 41. Kermit Cintron. But people didn't care as much because Canelo was coming up. He was young. So, you know, that's what happens in boxing. You know, you're not always going to get the right. But now Canelo's the face of boxing. He's a mega star. And he can really dictate and fight anyone he wants. So people want to see him level up. So it's going to be, the walls are closing in. It's going to be very interesting to see who Canelo decides to fight next, because this Calum Smith is calling him out and he's a champion. Now, some of you guys don't know, people like DAZN, you know, Canelo's on DAZN. Well, guess what? DAZN's hosting the World Boxing Super Series, which the people that like Canelo seem to conveniently like the World Boxing Super Series. Well, this man, Calum Smith, who's now calling out Canelo, won the Ali Trophy. So he emerged as the leader of the pack. You guys see him with the trophy here. He sent George Groves into retirement, and he proved he was the best in the tournament. Now, he's saying he's the best, period, at super middle. I don't know that because I rate him. He's top 3 for sure. But Caleb Plant, David Benavidez, and Calum Smith is between them 3, in my view, on who's the best. And since I haven't seen him fight, I don't know. However, what I do know is Eddie Hearn's like 6'4", 6'4 and a half, 6'5", somewhere around there. And look how tall Calum Smith is. Look how big he is. It would be a great fight. He has a great style. You can see he's, like I said, he's big, you know. He won the World Boxing Super Series. He's a champion. And just for those that don't really understand boxing, I don't view Canelo as a 4-division champion. That is a farce to me. And it's because there's too many belts in boxing, and the world knows that. Calum Smith, and so I could show you. Calum Smith fought Rocky Fielding, the guy who Canelo later beat. I'll pull up Rocky Fielding, aka Aaron Rodgers, just so you guys see. He got knocked out by Calum Smith in 2015. November 7th, 2015, Calum Smith fought Rocky Fielding, knocked him out in 1 round. Now, Canelo moved up. You know, he fought 2 Golovkin fights, I think, and he had the 164.5 which is basically super middleweight. And 2015, Calum Smith knocked him out. Later, he gets some kind of secondary title. And then in 2018, so like 3 years and a month, Canelo fights him and knocks him out in 3 rounds. So to be honest, Canelo needs to see Calum Smith to clear that up. It's just kind of like the franchise title. How you going to knock out the person with the secondary title? So here's an example. The WBA has all these belts, right? Danny Jacobs was the WBA regular champion, right? Golovkin was the WBA super champion. So we know Golovkin was recognized, especially from old media, as the higher champion because he's he has the better of the belts. He has the highest level belt. So let's say Peter Quillin, when he fought Danny Jacobs, let's say Peter Quillin knocked out Danny Jacobs. Would you consider Peter Quillin the champion, or would he still have to fight Gennady Golovkin? See, this is the part that old media refuses to tell you. Canelo just fought Rocky Fielding, knocked him out, right? But he had been knocked out by the guy who's now calling him out, Calum Smith, and Calum Smith did it in a shorter time. Fielding was down 3 times prior to the stoppage, as you guys can see. So Calum Smith, that's his leftovers basically. And if you notice, he hadn't really done too much since then, right? And then Canelo later knocked him out. Now you got one of the best 3 super middleweights in the world calling him out. You see how big he is. He's about to fight John Ryder, a puncher. So we have to see how he did. He won the World Boxing Super Series, as I mentioned. So he won a tournament where everybody that entered, he was the last man standing. I mean, he's doing well for himself. And see, a lot of people think that this is all about seeing Canelo lose and all this stupid shit. That's man fan talk. It's not about seeing Canelo lose. There's a ton of fighters, and Canelo's privileged to be able to fight whoever he wants, pick and choose who he wants. But these guys need to prove themselves. So this is about boxing. This is not about Canelo. I don't know that Calum Smith beats Canelo Alvarez. See, people in the video in the comment section, they'll say stupid shit like, oh, you really think Calum Smith beats Canelo? I never said that. This is not a fight prediction video. But what I do know is Canelo's star power seems to be waning. His weigh-in thinning out. You know, his last fight to me looked fake as fuck. And if he keeps having these stipulations and weight clauses and rehydration clauses, like Eric Morales said, like I've said, fighting people at the, Cotto 35, Mayweather 37, Mosley 40, Carlos Baldomir 41, a faded Kermit Cintron. Kovalev looked horrible. Like he looked like a shell of his former self, quick turnaround. If Canelo keeps doing that, I don't see his star power rising, especially since he's been with DAZN. His star power is already naturally kind of declined, being trapped on the app. De La Hoya, as you guys can see, right? De La Hoya tells Calum Smith good news about the Canelo showdown, says absolutely in his plans. So they've already linked his name to that. They've already said they want to fight Calum Smith. Now Calum Smith is saying, bring it on. I'm ready. Calum Smith warns Canelo that he's the #1 in the world. That's what he believes. So it's a good fight. It's going to be very interesting. The walls are closing in on Canelo. Very interesting, people, because at the end of the day, Canelo has stated he didn't want to fight Golovkin, right? He says he has no business with him and Golovkin's not on the level, things like that. So he says, as far as I'm concerned, I beat Golovkin twice. Plus, Golovkin looked poor versus Deryevchenko. In my opinion, he shouldn't even be a champion. Deryevchenko is the real champion. So if now Canelo, who says, and here's the other thing, Canelo is now saying, I'm telling you, the walls are closing in. Canelo's now saying he can't go back to middleweight necessarily. Canelo, probably very difficult to return to middleweight, right? So conveniently, people have been waiting to see Demetrius Andrade get a shot with Canelo or Charlo. He says they're very boring, becomes franchise champion. Now all of a sudden, no one told you to go to 175. You go up there, stop a 36-year-old Kovalev who looked like a shell of his former self. Now you're saying you can't return to middleweight. So you said that, okay, Charlo and Andrade still can't get the fight, despite Andrade on the same label and calling you out and saying where your cojones at, Canelo, things like that. So the walls are closing in. He's surrounded by tough talent. If Canelo is being called out by Calum Smith, that's a reasonable fight. As you see, De La Hoya says Calum Smith is absolutely, a Canelo showdown is absolutely in the plans. Calum Smith just, look, 11-4. So since the Kovalev fight, just called him out. Look, see? Canelo, Triple G is no challenge. Triple G is no challenge. So hopefully Canelo doesn't fight Triple G next. Since he says Triple G, he has nothing to gain there and he's no challenge, then he's going to have to fight the David Benavidez's of the world, right? No rehydration or weight clauses. Caleb Plant, Calum Smith calling him out, Charlo, Andrade. If he wants to stay at 175, they're dangerous, very good options like Artur Beterbiev. Bro, the walls are closing in for Canelo. The people can get mad, whatever. But Canelo's team, look. Canelo's trainer says Artur Beterbiev fight is possible after Kovalev. Okay, so he just beat Kovalev, knockout. And in this, they said Kovalev, look, we're going to win this championship on Saturday, which they did. Then we'll maybe look for the 168 or 160, which he's now saying he doesn't know if he should go straight back to 160 to juggle his weight. This is what Reynoso said. If there's another 175, we'll win it as well. We will look for the best fights and the best opponents who offer the best fights and continue breaking records, continue growing Saul's career, whomever. Kovalev is better than Beterbiev, which if you watch the fight, Kovalev, all he did was miraculously jab. The way Beterbiev looked in his last fight with Vodstick, I would say at this point, Beterbiev is far superior and would have stopped Kovalev looking like how he did. So it says Kovalev is better than Beterbiev and we're fighting him on Saturday. So why wouldn't we fight Beterbiev? Okay. So now the pressure is on Team Canelo. The walls are closing in. You just knocked out Kovalev. Impressive. Yes. You knocked him out in the 11th round and you just said he's better than Beterbiev. Guess what? Beterbiev, I don't believe that. I think Beterbiev would have knocked Kovalev out. He beat him twice as an amateur and Beterbiev looked much better and won and is undefeated, never been stopped, right? And didn't have a quick turnaround and all this, but that's fine. Team Canelo believes that Beterbiev is a lesser fighter than Kovalev. So you just knocked off the head off the snake. You just knocked off the top of the totem pole. So fight Beterbiev. If you can knock out Kovalev with 2-3 punches, then Beterbiev, look, they said it. Kovalev is better than Beterbiev. Great. So since you knocked out the better fighter, Beterbiev should be easy work. So once again, the walls are closing in. De La Hoya's already confirmed that he absolutely, quote, absolutely wants to fight Calum Smith, who's now calling Canelo out, right? So if all of a sudden, after Canelo saying stuff like this, Triple G is no challenge, all of a sudden, if Canelo wants to fight Triple G, the 36-year-old, actually he's 37, he's a year older than Kovalev, then this is going to reign true what Eric Morales was complaining about. Eric Morales blasts Canelo for fighting shot older fighters. Look, this is what Morales said. Mexican legend. Eric Morales criticizes Canelo. See, when he got criticism from Morales, people said he's hating and he's old and he's mad Canelo's making money. Yes, Kovalev's bigger, he's strong, but people in Mexico don't know Kovalev. Morales told ESPN Deportes, right? He says Kovalev is already very damaged. It's very predictable, people. Canelo has fought with big names when they're at the end of their career. So Canelo is running out of guys who are at the end of their career. Look, wow, the article even put it. Shane Mosley was 41. Baltimore was 39. Lovemore and Dow, 39. Golovkin was 35. If he fights him now, he'll be 37. Kovalev, 36. Mayweather, 37. Mayweather was 37, I believe. Cotto, 35. Ryan Rose, 35. Right? Bro, the people are seeing the MO. Golden Boy, they have to, it's just Canelo surrounded with tough fights. And like I said, he said Golovkin is no challenge and represents no challenge, so why should he fight him? Okay, fight Calum Smith at 168. Again, he won the World Boxing Super Series. Your promoter said it's absolutely in the plans. He's 6'5", good style. So we will see what Canelo decides. If he decides Golovkin, then that's going to tell you, and that's going to prove and reign true what Eric Morales said. This kid just won the World Boxing Super Series, which everyone that likes Canelo, who seems to like DAZN, right? This is what they like. They like the World Boxing Super Series. He won a tournament. He's calling Canelo out. So let's see who Canelo fights. It has to be Charlo, Andrade, Beterbiev, David Benavidez, Zordo Ramirez, Caleb Plant. These are all undefeated guys with great styles that mesh well. Imagine Calum Smith in the UK, seeing Canelo fight in the UK. You know, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's decided. But as far as Calum Smith particularly, he beat the guy that allegedly gave Canelo the 3-division champion title. So that should be cleared up. Again, Calum Smith fought Rocky Fielding way back in 2015, and he stopped him. 1 round, he stopped him. Canelo later fought him and stopped him. So he has the real belt. You see Rocky Fielding had a secondary belt. Look, Canelo, this was for the World Boxing Association super middleweight title, secondary title. The man that has the real version is this guy, Calum Smith, right? World Boxing Association super middleweight title. So he has the real boxing title. So, you know, like I said, the walls are closing in. Canelo's going to have to pick one of these tough fights. That's just what it is. Again, I don't think anyone in boxing, if Peter Quillen knocked out Danny Jacobs, who had, like, let's say he had the regular WBA, and Golovkin still roaming around the division with the middleweight super champion, then people would say Peter Quillen has to see Golovkin. That's just how it goes in boxing. It's going to be very interesting to see how they move Canelo. If you like what I'm doing, smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.